tell me a little bit about the 18th century divas. I'm not saying you're a diva, okay?
Absolutely, don't say that. No, I'm a great colleague. Apart from the various castrati that Handel had to deal with, who, intelligent, handsome, and very demanding, he did have to deal with various prima donnas, not least the supposedly ugly yet beautifully voiced Francesca Cuzzone. Now, I'm not saying she was ugly, but apparently people described her as plain-faced. Now, if somebody described me as plain-faced with a pretty voice, I think I'd have a bit of a strop as well, so I'm not surprised she was a diva. Opera in the 18th century was one of the only professions which actually allowed talented women to escape the rather narrow social confines of their lot in society and garner fame and fortune, as Cuzzone did, but she wasn't the only one. Bordoni was also a talented diva working in London at the same time. And I think history has made a lot of the rivalry between these two divas. Interestingly, I think we're not quite sure as to whether in real life there was that much of an issue, but it's interesting that the opera houses worked on that. In the 1720s, the King's Theatre was in all sorts of financial crises. And so it had the idea of pitting these two divas against each other on stage. And Handel wrote 2 or 3 operas, not least Alessandra, that I've sung in actually, with my diva next to me. To sing side by side. Now, Cuzzone was known as having a more beautiful sort of legato, slow singing, sort of cantabile style, and Bordoni was full of the fireworks and the coloratura. But I'm sure they could both do both, but Handel, in a sense, the way he wrote these roles, was also demarcating that Bordoni would be singing in this style and the Cuzzone camp would be in another style. And there is one story that Princess Caroline was at some performance, and actually the performance stopped and the two singers turned to face each other. They had what can only be described as a bitch fight, scratching their hair, but apparently pulling the wigs off, scratching their eyes out. Wow. And the whole performance stopped. But I mean, that doesn't tend to happen now. It's just the kind of black looks in the dressing rooms afterwards.
You can imagine.